MaryLou and Lindsay here. Today we are talking about a game that's great for family, for homeschool, for any number of things. And the game is called 5-Minute Gridlock. It's a little bit like Categories, but it is set up in a little bit of a different way that gives you more variety and actually is a really good brain game for kids because their brain has to shift thinking, and so that makes it a good thing. And you can actually find this game in my book, Get Smart Games That Teach, in our Etsy shop, or you can get it as a digital download. And so check that out, and that will have all of the instructions, and I'll put everything that we use and everything you need in the comments below so that you can create this game yourself. Now we're creating it as an actual in-a-bag game, and so we're going to go through the steps so you can see how to do that. So the first thing we're going to do is use some Infusible ink, and Lindsay's going to go ahead and open that up. Infusible ink, we get it through Cricut because we want to imprint the name of the game right on our bag. And so we're actually going to use an Infusible ink blank that Cricut makes. And this is, these are 2 cosmetic bags, but of course we're using it for games. And so, let me get that out of the way. So let's just get this opened up. So this set of Infusible ink bags or blanks actually comes with 2 bags. So let's take a look at those. See, so that's the 9x7. That's what we're going to be using for the game that we're going to keep all together.
Oh, okay.
So when you look at this, that doesn't look black. But when you have Infusible ink, it always shows out very faded when you first take the roll out. And so don't worry, it'll come out black if that's what it says on the box. All right, so I went into Cricut Design Space previously and designed a title. So it'll say 5-Minute Gridlock with a little bit of some graphics just to make it fun. And so we're going to actually get that printed, and then we'll be ready to go. So when you get Infusible ink, it will always come with the ink sheet, plus it'll come with some butcher paper that you need to use. Now, oh, and they'll also, there will also be a piece of fabric for a test piece and a desiccant. You don't need to worry about any of that. Okay, and once you open this, that desiccant is pretty much used up. So you don't really need to save it. You can if you want and just stick it back in, but you don't need to. Okay.
Desiccant. That's not a very fun word, is it?
Desiccant. That does sound kind of weird. Okay, so we are going to put this on our Cricut mat, and we're going to put ink side up. And when I created the pattern for this, I had to mirror image it so that it'll print, when we apply it, it'll print right. Okay, so we're gonna push that down, and we're going to send this through our Cricut machine and get it all printed and cut and everything. Cricut makes these presses. I don't currently have one. So what we're going to do is experiment, and I'm going to see if Infusible ink works with an iron. And I've heard mixed reviews online about whether the Infusible ink works with an iron or not. So you're going to find out with us whether it'll actually, you know, infuse, or if you really do have to have one of those presses.
Stay tuned.
So we've been playing this game, 5-Minute Gridlock, since Lindsay was little. And so Lindsay's going to explain a little bit about the game.
So the game comes, well, what we're going to show you how to make is you're going to play the game with this grid, and you have 5 minutes to come up with words that start with a certain letter and are in a certain topic. So as part of the things that are in the description below, you can get a digital download of the topics that we like to use most to help you get the game started. You're also welcome to create your own topics, but sometimes it's easier just to have someone telling you what the topics are. So you'll use this grid here to fill out when you're actually playing. And then we've created as well these little wood rounds that have the topics on them. So they will go in the bag that we're going to make today. And whoever is chosen to be the person who picks the category will pick a topic out of the bag, and we'll be able to pick the topic that they want to use. So just for example, sports teams we have here, college subjects, and then you would have a letter R that would be the letter for that round, and you would need to come up with an example of that. So things in a bedroom that start with R, a radio. I don't know, that probably wouldn't be in a bedroom.
Sure it would be. So let me just jump in here really quick, because I know you're saying to yourself, oh, well, it's basically categories. But the reason we do it this way is because, you know, it's always about what children are learning and helping develop brain activity and stuff. So when you're playing categories, you have your list of topics and just one letter. And that's fun. But the reason I actually do the game this way is so that people's brains actually have to jump around. So if you've got things in a bedroom, sports teams, and fruits and vegetables, and then you've got different letters down here, your brain actually has to search in a different way, and you create different pathways for learning. And so you're going with things in a bedroom, and I might have an R here, a T, an A. And so you've got to go through and actually think of things in a bedroom that start with different letters. So it actually is a little harder than categories, but it's better for the brain. And another advantage of that is you can take any topic that you have been studying in school, something you've talked about with the kids, and you can create your own subcategories of that topic. So for example, if I was teaching quantum physics, I might have a category of chemistry terms, you might have elements, you might have names of quarks, those kinds of things. So you can actually gear this exactly to whatever topic you're teaching, which is really great for brains. Okay.
And if you're looking for ways to make it more fun to choose the letter, you're welcome to just choose letters at random. But we also have created these dice essentially that have the letters of the alphabet on them, so you shake them and decide what you want to have. We've also created a random one here too that has like XYZ all together, because those are a little harder, so you might not want one of each of those hanging out, with an option to roll those every time. And then just, you know, if you want to do a vowel or a consonant, or just that someone chooses. So just some options there to make the game more fun for the kids to be able to choose.
Infusible ink is a little bit different because the substrate, or the stuff that it's stuck to, is really thick and kind of hard. So they say to go ahead and do this, roll it up and crack it. Thank you. Okay, so we'll get this done, we'll get the iron going, and then we're going to see. You'll see with us whether an iron works with infusible ink or not. Okay, so I decided to use the larger of the bags because I figured that would fit everything better. So I'm going to put a piece of cardstock inside so that if the ink bleeds through, it doesn't go to the back side of the bag. And then I'm going to put our writing as best I can and just push that down. And then I've got some heat-resistant tape that I'm just going to use to just really hold that print in place. And I'll be sure to link all of this below so that you can easily see that. All right, so I've got that, you know, taped down so it doesn't move around. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a piece of butcher paper that's included with the Infusible Ink, and you'll get one piece of butcher paper for every piece of ink transfer that you get. Okay, so I have my iron turned up on the cotton setting with no steam, as high as it'll go, all heated. And so you have to do this in one pass, and that's the problem with an iron. You can't really move it around. So here we go. I'm just going to give it a try. I don't know how it'll work. So I'm going to hold it here. So this is a little tricky. I'm going to need to peek because I can't tell. I actually think I am missing just a little spot of the writing.
Okay.
I should have made sure that the whole thing would fit under the footprint of my iron. And I don't know how long to hold it. So I'm actually going to move back and do more here. I have no idea. We're seeing. You're with me, and we're going to see how this works. You
sure
can't.
Doesn't look like it's.
I think I need to go longer.
Yeah, I think maybe you do. But I don't know how long.
They do say don't iron it.
Okay.
Just go straight down in a press. Okay, I'm pushing really hard, and the beauty of the press, the beauty of the Cricut Press is that you can exactly set the temperature and the time. So I'm really winging it here. So we'll see. We'll see how
Indeed.
it comes out. And I'm not giving this as a gift. So if I was giving this as a gift, I would try to be very particular and make it perfect. And just as a side note, with that thought, this really would make a really fun, Christmas gift for another family. And so you could just, you know, assemble all the pieces, and that would be a lot of fun. So I'm winging it, and let's see how it turned out. Okay, iron off. I don't know. So, oh, it's a little hot, so I'm going to have to let it cool for a minute.
Well, it looks like something's happened, because what's happening over here,
yeah.
you know, there's something, but not here necessarily.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. So let's peel off the, here we go.
Oh! Not hideous.
Not terrible. So I can see why the press would be nice, because you get even pressure all the way around, and you can tell that I had less pressure on these parts.
And what's happening over here? What is it? What's that?
Well, the pencil went a little
Askew.
Okay, so fail right here, fail on the ends, but it works. I'm wondering if I can cut this bit off and redo it right there. Shall we experiment?
Try.
That and see. It'll probably cause a little shadow, a little ghost shadow. But, you know, this is an experiment. We are experimenting, so why not? I'm going to see if I can line it up. That looks pretty good. And I'm going to I'm going to reuse some of this heat-resistant tape. Okay, let's see. Let's try.
Do you want to try it on the other side too?
I'm going to do them in two separate things because the iron.
Well, maybe go up and down so that you're not redoing here. I mean.
Oh, like keep it in it, just in its space.
Well, I was thinking like that.
Oh, I just don't want to be over the zipper.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
But I want to use the big fat back end of the. Did I just say big fat back end? I want to use the big end of the iron. Here, you
Katie,
push on it.
be sure to edit that out.
You push on it, and I'm going to cut out the, it looks like about from the O on. Do you think we're done?
Sure.
Okay. So that was what, 30 seconds?
Yeah.
More?
I don't think it was more.
Here we go. Let's see if that Band-Aid...
Oh, that looks more like the others did.
Okay.
Yeah.
And while we're letting that cool a little bit, I'm going to line up these. Yeah, that K is pretty light. It's hard to tell.
I'm really impressed that it worked, though. I mean,
Me too.
It sure looks pretty.
Okay. So you can make do before you have all the fancy tools and everything. You can make do with your iron. But, gee, maybe I should put that on my Christmas list. I don't know. Oh, look at that. Okay, so it is not as dark as the others, but it's fine. I mean,
I think it's
better
fine.
than it was.
It really isn't that noticeable. I mean, it's not very noticeable.
Okay, good. And I don't know what happened with the pencil. The transfer part is really wonky. Yeah, I think it didn't. I think it didn't cut really well. Maybe it was just too thin of a thing. And perhaps with infusible vinyl, maybe you have to go with a little bit bigger cuts so that because
not so delicate.
It's quite a bit thicker than other vinyl. So maybe you have to just be more careful with the thickness of your cuts. Yeah, this was more delicate. Yep. Okay. Should I take it off now?
I think so.
Okay. Here we go. The final reveal. Okay.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Okay, so it works. It does work. It's not as nice and certainly not as easy, but hey, you can make do.
Overall, I like it.
I do too.
I mean, for sure, the thing that looks the worst is the pencil because it looks like its eraser is like flying away. But it's okay.
And we've got some kind of weird snag on that pencil.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's all right.
And this is our first time ever. This is my first time ever using the Infusible ink on fabric. And of course, without the press, you experiment. You do what you can. Okay, so now let's go back to the table and we'll look at all the parts that you're putting in this bag to create your game. Okay, so now we're going to assemble all the parts that you need to create your 5-minute gridlock game. And so I've got some wooden rounds, and of course we'll link this in the description below. And we really do appreciate when you buy through our links because it does give us just a little bit of a commission, and that's how we are supporting this channel and doing the things that we do. And so we appreciate you buying through our links. So I'm going to, what we've done is written the topics that we like to use in our family on these wood rounds. And so I just use a Sharpie marker and my very best school teacher printing and make these.
So, for example, there's sports on one of them, things at the gym, things found on a hike. So just some different topics that you can use when you're playing this game.
Okay, and I am adding a couple more on here. I'm adding toys and games on one side, and then on the other side, I'm going to add furniture. So then these will go in the bag while you're playing the game. And then when you're ready, you just throw them in. And we'd have someone pick out a topic, and then you write that on your paper. And we'll show precisely how you do that in just a minute. The other thing you need in the bag are the letters of the alphabet. Now, you can just say, okay, everybody choose a letter, and we've played it that way. This, however, helps the game move along at a little bit faster clip. And so I'm just adding S-T-U-V, I'm finishing these up, W, and so I have one side, but I made a die that is the special one, and so we have XYZ in one, on one side because those are hard, and so you get to pick which one. We have a few of the more difficult letters, as we have found over the years, G, J, I, and Q, K, and V. Now those actually, depending on the category, may end up being very easy. But, and then one side says vowel, so you pick a vowel, a consonant, and one that says just you choose. So whoever's rolling the dice can just choose what that is. So I'm going to add on to this one, M is pretty easy generally, and I just had a blank side. So then those are, then the way you do this is you can also put those in the bag. Somebody chooses one die, rolls it, and then you put the letter in the correct slot, as we will show you. Okay, the last part of this game then, just as another option, you can use the rounds, which we like, or you can just get the big old popsicle sticks, like I think you can get those at the dollar store, and you can write your subjects on that too, just as a second option. And as far as subjects go, we have available a free download of 40 possible topics, categories that you can use, and you'll find that in the link below. All right, so the last craft that I want to show you is how to make a notepad. And so you can use these for so many things, of course, and it's kind of fun in a game when you can just, you know, tear off the paper you're using, and there it is. And so I'm going to show you how to take the grid for 5-minute grid lock that you can get on our free download, and how to put that into a notepad. So what you need to do this is a copy, of course, of the grid, and you'll find that in our link. And then you need a piece of chipboard. And so you're going to cut out, I use our paper cutter to cut them all basically the same size, and you cut your chipboard the same size. Now, let's talk about making a notepad. So the first thing you're going to do is get your paper and your notepad all together. And because I am not a machine, so I wasn't able to cut every piece exactly the same. So what I do is just kind of tap it all down so the top is completely flat. And you can do that same thing on the side, but what really matters is that that top is very flat and lined up. And then we go ahead and put on some clips. I really like these kinds of clips, and of course we'll do a link on those. And just to hold the whole thing together. Then we get this pad book compound glue, and you get that and an old paintbrush. And then what you're going to do is paint the top of this. And when I was teaching school, we made these quite often. And because you often have paper scraps from projects, so I would just cut them all the same size, and I made several notepads. And then we're going to clip that. So I paint one side, clip, and then take the clip off the other side, because you really want to keep that paper just all together there. Okay, and then I'm going to clip that side. So this will take, I'm going to actually maybe even bring in this other clip. And then you let that dry, and then you do another coat and let that dry, and a third coat. So 3 coats with a complete drying in between. And then these notebooks I mean, they literally come out just like a notebook that you would buy at the store, and so you can tear those off. So a real fun idea for that is to have your students or your children, if you're homeschooling, create their own notepads. They could actually create a paper with a design, and then you just print that off, cut it out, and they have their own notepad that they've designed. Another thing that is a great idea is to figure out each student's schedule. If you're homeschooling, figure out each child's schedule, write it on the notepad, and that's what they have to do. Complete that every day, and then when they're done, it's all checked off. They can show you, this is the work done, and then the next day they go on to another page that shows their whole schedule. And that is a really great way to organize the kids and help them understand and remember everything that they are to do every day. So making your own notepads is a really great idea.
So we hope you enjoyed these crafts, and to understand more about this game and to play it with us, you can have a look at my channel, and we talk all about how to combat boredom and fun ideas for things to do on a rainy day. Have a good day.
Bye.